And what do we have? By the summer of 1921, you already had a robust recovery underway. And we're being told today we need to follow the lessons of history. Well, I agree. I couldn't agree more. There's a lesson none of them even mentioned, much less follow. We're being told that we should be following every quack on earth who's on TV, who failed to see the crisis coming, and yet we're supposed to believe that they can get us out of a crisis they didn't even know existed. These are people who said the economy is stronger than it's ever been. I mean, Ben Bernanke, our current Fed chairman, was on 60 Minutes about a month ago. Instead of asking him some tough questions, he just got softballs the whole time, because the American media, and it doesn't matter what paper or network you're talking about, they've all graduated from the Pravda School of Journalism. And some of you may be too young for that. Pravda was the Soviet Union newspaper that was just a propaganda rag. And that's basically what our media people do. Their job is not to ask tough questions. Never, never. Their job is to make us believe the people who rule us are indispensable. They're geniuses. We need them. They are infallible maestros. Where would we ever be without these geniuses? And so instead of asking Ben Bernanke, well, gee, I mean, why would you think just increasing the amount of money, which doesn't increase actual resources, what would that actually do? Why would that help? Why would you think that? Or why did you tell us in 2006 that when your mortgage regulators investigated the mortgage market, they found it was healthier than ever? Why did you say that? Or why did you say that the housing bust would be over by December 2008? Why did you say that? We didn't get any questions like that. No. Instead, we got questions like, on the order of, gee, Ben, what's the hardest part of being the head of the Fed? Just bootlicking BS questions. I mean, imagine what could happen in this country if we had a real media who actually wanted to ferret out information. You know, could you imagine that? Could you imagine actual media asking questions? How revolutionary that would be. Well, how about this? Instead of asking for their advice, people like Ben Bernanke, who haven't been right about anything. I mean, I bet if you asked him what his favorite color was, he wouldn't even give that right. I mean, like a thing he would have to know. Him, Hank Paulson, Timothy Geithner, or whatever, Democrats, Republicans alike, how about not listening to them for a while? How about saying for the next 2 years, you people have to shut up. You have not been right about a thing, so why don't you stop embarrassing yourselves, do yourselves a favor, and shut up. Just do a little shutting up. And instead, why don't we listen to people who predicted the crisis? And I already mentioned Peter Schiff, but Peter Schiff, Jim Grant of Grant's Interest Rate Observer, Jim Rogers, and Congressman Ron Paul, who happened to write the foreword to my book, incidentally. So I'm honored by that, because I think he's a great genius. And all these people saw it not because they got lucky, or because they're soothsayers, or they have a crystal ball, but because they understand Austrian economics. And it told them that you do not create prosperity, you can't create wealth out of thin air by fiddling with interest rates. I mean, seriously. I mean, who can believe this? That if that's what the so-called prosperity is based on, it's going to collapse. That's how they predicted it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we were instead to listen to these people, instead of the people who brought us down this path, and if we were to understand that it's not a failure of the free market, it's a refusal to allow the free market to work, well then that would be change we can believe. So thank you very much. One last thing I forgot to say, which is, if I can't, now I do have copies of Meltdown, and for a mere 20 smackers, it can be yours, and buy one. Let me at least ask you to check out my website, which is tomwoods.com. I have a free chapter of it. I have a lot of free stuff there. So if you just want to go through life never buying anything, then my website is great. There's no link that you can click on to send me anything. There's no PayPal. You couldn't send me money if you tried through this website. But it does have a free chapter of the book. Okay, good. Now I realize that was, I think people who yammer on for more than 45 minutes should usually be shot. Because the normal human attention span is roughly about that. But for some reason, I just cannot restrain myself. So I'm sorry for, seeming like one of these cranks who just never shuts up. And even now, I'm not letting you ask questions. So anyway, would anybody like to ask one? Yes.
It's kind of a two-part question. Where do you think the economy is going right now, and what can we do to, or what do you think we should do? I mean,
yeah. You mean like as individuals?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so where's the economy going right now, and what can we do as individuals? Well, I'm not persuaded by people who say, well, you know, we've hit bottom and now it's eventually going to turn around. I think to the contrary, there are a lot of shoes that are still yet to drop. I think the housing market is liable to get worse. Now, they can, by printing up a lot of money and spending the stimulus money, they can give the illusion of a recovery for a little while, but it'll just be an illusion. But the key thing that we're going to see is the commercial real estate market is going to start collapsing. First, we've seen residential, people's houses. But now think of all the bankruptcies we're seeing. Major, major store chains that we've all shopped at for years are going under. Who's going to use all that space? Nobody's starting up new businesses right now. So you're going to have tremendous amounts of office space, retail space. And what's the value on that? I mean, what's going to happen to institutions that lent for that? Those values are going to plummet. So, I mean, we could seriously be in for it. So it is so important. I mean, the first thing that we can do as individuals is to learn and understand this stuff, is to learn about Austrian economics. At my website, at tomwoods.com, you click on articles. One of the things I have there is a little list of just a few things you can read so that you'll understand, like, so you won't go through life just not getting this. That is just, damn it, I just don't want people to do that. I mean, there's no reason for it. You should know what's going on. And for people who hate reading, I even link to audio things you can put on your iPod. I mean, you've got to learn this stuff. So I've got a ton of that there. So educate yourself and other people. Get interested in this material. I mean, how could you not? People have had half their retirement portfolios wiped out. I mean, people have been ruined. I mean, how could we not be interested in this? And especially when, as I'm convinced, we're being governed by quacks, and we're being given advice by quacks. But what I'm telling you makes sense. It fits the data, and it's being totally ignored. And the reason is, it doesn't flatter our rulers. Our rulers want to hear that they can fix anything by printing money. Or they want to hear that prosperity can be created by lowering interest rates artificially. They don't want to hear, they want to hear this child version of the economy. That you can print prosperity into existence. You can spend it into existence. They don't want to hear the grown-up economics that says, well, you have to save and invest and produce. That's what creates wealth. They don't want to hear that, but we need to hear that. So education of yourself is the most important thing. But then, in terms of what can you do as an individual, well, to some degree, students are in the best position, and in some degree, students are in the worst position. You're in the best position because most of you don't have 100 grand in the bank at this point, that you're wondering, well, gee, should I put it in T-bills or gold or ETF or what? No, I mean, when I was a student, I didn't have very much money. So it didn't really matter to me if it lost that much value. It didn't have that much value to start with. So on that level, you're okay. On the other level, you presumably want to get a job when you get out of here. So that does put you in a bit of a tough spot. So, you know, as I say, learn what's going on. And if you agree with what I'm saying, then get out there and fight. I mean, we need bodies. We need people out there who are intelligent, who learn this stuff. And really, if you just read a few of the things that I've got, you will get this better than almost anybody. Then we'd have a fighting chance if we had a critical mass of the population educated enough to resist this. And again, resist what both parties have done to us. This is not a matter of Barack Obama has changed everything. He's doing exactly what Bush did, except more of it. That's the change. It's never, gee, maybe Bush did a stupid thing. For some reason, that's not even considered. I don't know why. It's, no, we need to quadruple the stupidity. Well, that's the change? I was kind of hoping change meant no more bailouts. You know? Well, I guess that was a mistake.